Welcome back to the Sonic Locker Room. This is Bill Althouse of Sideliner Sports, and we're celebrating our 18th year, bringing you the best and the brightest from Eastern Jackson County and the metro area. And I find it so interesting that this is the 18th year of the Sonic Locker Room. It's also the 18th year that Van Horn High School has been a part of the Independent School District. And today we're visiting with Chris Corey, the activities director, who 18 years ago was a feisty soccer coach there, man. I mean, you took no prisoners. You had so much success, and I love it now that you're back with the girls. But, Chris, if you look back 18 years, could you ever imagine that Van Horn would be just the crown jewel of Independence high schools?
You know what? When I started off at Van Horn, I always thought that we were going to be a great school, that we were going to have great teams. After meeting our kids, I realized just how wonderful they were. I thought we had a chance to be good right away, and I kept that mindset, and that's the same mindset I still have 18 years later. All I want to see is great success for our kids and our community here at Van Horn.
I go to a football or soccer game and I look at that gorgeous facility. I can remember back when Coach Jerry Price and I would walk through the football field picking up everything from rocks and broken glass to an occasional needle. And now I see that, and I'm surprised there aren't more accidents right there on Sterling as you head into Van Horn High School, because when you see that stadium, I've been in it 100 times, and I'm still just in awe when I look and see that facility.
Yeah, every day I come into work, and when I'm leaving, I cross the bridge, over Truman Road, and I take a look down, and you see that emerald jewel that we have down there.
Yes.
Now, it's come a long way, I'll say that, but I am extremely proud of our facility. It's wonderful for our kids. And I'm kind of happy, our kids, they don't even know what it's like to play on a semi-grass field.
Yeah.
So semi-grass would be, I think, optimistic way to describe it back in the day.
And then, you look up to the school. You've got a field house that is second to none. And so many other activities are located in that area. A culinary class that is second to none in the country, wood shop, all that. What's it like to be a Falcon? Especially, I don't know if there are any other people that have been involved all 18 years, but just what pride do you take in your school and your students and all the activities?
Well, we're extremely proud. We have so many, neat programs going on. Mr. Oatman in our wood shop is sending, American flags to veterans all across the country. He's got a Pearl Harbor veteran that he's taking a flag to down in Georgia. We've got our culinary program, which is competing nationally. And of course, our activities and athletics, we have a lot going on. And I'll tell you what, iron sharpens iron. We have many good programs. Kids are proud to be a part of that. And when you have dynamic, very progressive programs who want to be successful, that is a mindset that crosses over. It creates a lot of competition. It creates a lot of creativity between our programs. And it's been nothing but a good thing.
I was sitting with the former independent superintendent at the first Eagles football game, and for the first time in school history, they had a marching band. I believe there were 15 kids in the band, and 12 of them were playing drums. And I thought, this is the best thing I've ever seen. When you look at the band, when you look at cheer and dance and how Friday night under the lights at your own stadium, you used to have to play at the other independent stadiums with, like it or not, if you've got a great football team, you've got a lot of attention, especially during the fall season. What's it like to think about what all the great coaches have done there? And I mean, class on the field, class off the field?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I ran into one of our legendary football coaches, Coach Jeff Tolbert, who really restarted our football program back in 2008. And, you know, we had very limited facilities, limited equipment. Players were brand new. They hadn't won a game in 2 years when he started. And, you know, those first few games, I just remember, you know, meeting him as the, you know, arrogant soccer coach talking to the veteran football coach. And I just learned so much from him and just the kind of man he was. And he got our football program going, and it was so nice to see him. Saw him over at Ruskin High School. We were playing some basketball over there, and he was there with his grandkids, and it was just, it was a wonderful meeting. But yeah, I think back to that time, and we have so many people we have to be thankful for.
Oh, I tell you, Coach Tolbert, I remember when he considered it a victory if the Falcons crossed the 50-yard line. I mean, it didn't have to be a victory on the scoreboard, but when they upset Oak Grove, that's just one of those games I'll never forget, and that really, I think, was the genesis of all the success they've had now, you know, leading on after Jeff left the program with what Rashad Bird is doing right now.
Oh yeah. I remember those first couple of years when, you know, it was every tackle was a victory. Every first down was something to celebrate. But he never wavered. And, you know, you watched his process. He never went up or down. He was always Coach Tolbert. And, you know, we had a huge state victory, maybe one of the biggest upsets in state history. And when we knocked off Oak Grove and heading into the state playoffs, it was incredibly exciting. The kids, you know, we had some great players, but that was our first taste of what, like, real success would be on the football field. And that was a wonderful ride for all of us who were just, you know, on his coattails.
And how cool is it that you hosted the district speech and debate tournament when 18 years ago there wasn't even a speech and debate program at Van Horn?
You know, I'm definitely the old man at Van Horn, but when I talk to people, I want them to understand that, you know, this is an honor that, you know, the Kansas City region trusts Van Horn, and our speech and debate program is strong enough to host a district tournament. And I was extremely proud. It was a lot of work. Our Coach Wilson did a great job hosting, but extremely proud that that program and our activities have risen to the point where, you know, we're putting on these events. You know, our readers theater team, they just qualified and are going to state for the first time in our history.
Wow.
They just did that on Monday. So it's neat, all the milestones that we're hitting, and our programs just continue to get better and better.
Tell us a little bit about the girls soccer team.
Girls soccer team. Well, Bill, there's sad news and happy news. I fired myself after last season and hired a new coach. His name is Brian Olivas. He's going to be taking the helm, and I expect him to make the program even better this year. So very excited about this season. Coach Olivas is he is going to be a safe pair of hands, and he's going to be a much better coach than I ever was. So very excited to have him on board.
Tell us a little bit about Brian. Was he ever a part of the program?
So we stole him from the Pleasant Hill soccer team. They've had a tradition of success over there. Very excited to get him. He's a Missouri Valley Viking. I was a Graceland Yellow Jacket, so there was a little bit of tension at first. But very successful college soccer player, has a lot of experience coaching, so very excited to have him on staff.
How have you handled the weather the past 2 weeks? It hadn't been as crazy as some past ones, but, I mean, my sump pump has been running like for 6 straight days. Well,
you know, our baseball team, I've got an aggressive baseball coach. He's been getting out every day he can out to Chrysler Stadium. The infield out there is holding together fairly well. We won't be out today, but this is the spring. This just is what it is. And as everything is kind of going to turf these days, there's not as many grass surfaces anymore, but It's going pretty well. I mean, this is just spring. The month of March is always crazy for high school sports, and you do what the weather gives you.
Yep, absolutely. Chris Corey, nobody does it better. I'm sorry you had to fire yourself, but I can't wait to see what Coach Avalos does with the team. Have a great day, and buddy, you're always welcome here in the Sonic locker room.
Thank you, Bill.